Alright, we're starting it up right now. Okay, should be rolling. Let's just double check. So today we got a special guest in the command center today. Patrick is with us today, and we got AJ on the line as well as usual, piping in from wherever AJ exists.
The dirty streets of Atlanta.
That's right, the dirty streets of Atlanta. So yeah, that was a game that happened.
That was a game. That I think the scoreline flattered them, but we obviously did not do enough in attack, and yeah, we were undone on the counter and on a set piece that's unforgivable. I think on all the goals. Like there are some really kind of big gaffes, and it's people falling asleep. I mean, yes, the last goal is we're chasing the game, so that's a little bit more acceptable. But the first and second goals are just, we got to do much better. Yeah. It's just so bad from just the majority of the team in tracking back, and marking, and yeah, it's one of those. Do we chalk it up to? It's like it's not really that type of match where we have full strength.
Hold on a second, AJ. My daughter just brought in a dancing, talking elephant. And
a dancing, talking elephant.
Extremely distracting right now. Here, you could come say hi. Come say hi to the good people.
I mean, I wish I could see. Because that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I know. I need to leave the headphones on.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to ask Patrick to take you and the dancing elephant into the other room and close the door.
Let's go see. Let's go hang out with Miss Mommy. Okay?
that was silly. All right. Anyway, where were we? Sorry about that.
No worry. But yeah, no, it's a match where, do we chalk it up to we're missing a key guy up top, and it just kind of undoes kind of our chemistry, and once we're full strength, of course, we always look pretty decent, especially at home, but on the road here, we just chalk it up that we're unlikely to win a game on the road anyway. This is a forgivable result. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's a forgivable result in that Nashville's a good team. They're a playoff kind of standard team. So, winning against them at home was going to be a tough order regardless. However, it's more so the story for me is, their gameplay during the game didn't give me any confidence.
Wasn't inspiring.
No, it was not inspiring. I also think that when you said, when we have full strength, like Yakamaka's back in, maybe we'll do better. I think maybe perhaps him scoring a goal to make it, 2-2 or 2-1 may have changed game state a little bit depending on when the goal was scored. Maybe have inspired some more confidence, some more energy because he does provide some leadership. But I still think, we probably would have let up 2 or 3 goals regardless anyway. So I don't know. I don't know if just Nashville's just that good. They just, I think, jumped us in the standings because of this result, or if not close.
They're close. I think it's they're in 4th, we're in 3rd. It's, a little bit where and sorry about the background noise, but it is. Yeah, we're still holding strong in 3rd somehow after this result, or lack of result. But obviously, there are all these other games to play from the rest of the league tonight.
Right. I'm worried. The way I feel like we kind of play is we score 2 goals fairly consistently. At least 1 because of Yakimakis, every game that he plays in. So, like, I know we're good for, like, at least a goal a game when he plays, and that's good. And if Mata can have some, magic in there and then goal by committee from someone else, it really seems like we need to score at least 2 goals to, like, get results in every game we play, which that's not good to me. Like, I know, like, in a way that's how we did it in 2018. We just basically, I mean, that's not fair to say. We did have a good defense in 2018 too, but, like, Atlanta also put in, like, it was a lot of heavy hitting, like heavyweight title fighting, throwing haymakers, like beating the other team into submission just by scoring more goals, even though we let in a couple, So I don't know. It's like I just don't think we score enough goals to play like that, and I feel like that's what the defense in the midfield is forcing us to have to do because we are quite leaky in the back. So I'll let Patrick give his take now because he's here and he can have the headphones to listen to what your reaction is.
Hey AJ, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, so good. I mean, as good as one can be after watching the travesty of that game.
Yes.
I didn't get too much of your take earlier. I'm on a bit of a delay and, kind of elephant duty there for a minute. But, I mean, I'll just give you my
give us your thoughts.
Quick take. It just felt like Nashville looked so much more athletic than we did. Like, drastically so. I know that, I was talking with Michael while we were watching the game that, kind of we had more possession in the first without really purpose, which I thought was apt. But, just in watching it, it didn't really look like we were ever driving in that game. And, because, well, we weren't. And
we had a 0.5 XG in the first half, too.
Yeah, like, it seemed like we were really outmaneuvered and there wasn't, like, a lot of hustle and the defense was playing way too generously. Like, they were marking people, but they were marking them 10, 15 yards away, and that's not marking. That's just giving someone space to make a play or make a pass or make a run. We're not marking anyone at this point. Sorry, I'm finding the camera. Camera B, camera A, camera C's up here. That's for later.
Just look right into my soul, man.
Yeah, right.
Right here.
Well, honestly, I don't know that you want to really look too closely at mine after this game. It was just, I was trying to come up with a highlight, and frankly, the only thing is like it's just a shame that we're so dependent upon Almada and Giakoumakis when he's healthy to do anything. We were talking about Araujo being a bust. That's just irritating how much we spent on this guy to have him just put out stinker after stinker. And I mean, I haven't seen enough good out of him to justify what we paid for. And, poor, Diop. Poor Diop.
Poor Jacques,
I mean,
whatever.
There were a couple. There was I think it was the second goal. It was a pretty bad rebound. Because
it was a Hani Mukhtar shot that Bunbury easily popped in because he ran in the box unmarked, completely unimpeded.
That and I'll say this: getting hammered with a ball from that far away. I don't know that many better keepers would have not also given up that rebound. I'm not in those shoes, but I feel like that at least was fair. But what wasn't fair for Diop was that our defense wasn't marking anyone. We're giving him 15, 20 yards to meters, whatever, however you want to measure it. Mm-hmm. That was my biggest gripe about the game. And, it was fun to see Almada put one in, but it was it almost seemed like that one probably shouldn't have gone in. I mean, AJ, I want to hear your input on this. Because
was that a penalty? Rosetto's, little
Rossetto,
turn there?
I think he earned the penalty. Yeah, he got, there was enough contact from Dax McCarty to take him down. I mean, it's enough in the box, I feel like. And,
I agree with the contact part of it, but I was just talking about. I mean, maybe this comes down
Almada's
to
goal?
like, yeah, the physical goal. Like the goalie probably could have blocked that. Like it seemed.
Although I think he had.
Well, it's just got
his
outthought, I guess.
Yeah, his decision was to stay put because apparently the read on Almada's regular penalties was that he goes down the middle. And I mean,
okay,
he
that's fair.
just went slightly right of middle. And,
Yeah.
it was fast enough that he couldn't get a foot save or get down fast enough. So
Okay.
I think that's it's a good enough goal.
Well, no, that's and look, a goal's a goal, and I'm gonna bring it back. They don't ask how, they ask how many. A goal is a goal, right? That was the thing that I was talking about. That I was way too whatever. We don't need to keep bringing it up weekly. This isn't. We're not gonna let this turn into a soap opera about my life, but I was looking at it and it felt like he kind of just gave up on it, but I didn't have that perspective of like Almada kind of typically going down the middle. So that's on me. I'll own that. But not to take away a goal where it is a goal, right? But it just felt like, gosh, we were just out athleticism mostly, and the possessions that we had,
for sure.
Yeah, outclassed, but we shouldn't be. Like, we have the players, and our players can execute, but they just didn't. It felt like they were giving up on the ball. They were giving up on the run. I feel like us trying to shoehorn Aruju into being this, like, connector of, midfielder to striker, he's just not. He's bad at it. And he needs to stop, and we need to stop and get rid of him. Please, please, please. This is, that was also a big takeaway, is this, he just feels effete throughout the whole ordeal. He couldn't capitalize on anything, and the pace that he was putting on shots, fine, you're putting pace on the shot, but you're not putting the shot on frame. You're just blasting it into the second deck. They don't have second decks in Nashville. It's a small town. Anyway.
They did have a second deck.
Oh, they do? Okay.
We'll call it Rose Zed.
Yeah. It just...
So just to catch everyone up, we had 66% possession this game. We had 17 shots on goal to their 11. 2 were on target. 4 were on target for them. Fouls were about even at 11 to 12. Yellow cards, we had 3. They only had 1. They had 6 offsides. We had 2. We had 7 corner kicks. They only had 3.
So it's coming down to like efficiency, just all around for us. We dominated possession, but I think some of the fouls too that were cards probably, I don't know, a little iffy on both sides. Like, I just think the refs were a little card heavy today.
Sosa was playing a wild game.
I know that we kind of threw a shoulder into was that Sosa or was that that was Miles?
A shoulder?
Someone threw a shoulder into Fafa or
the guy,
so that was Sosa winning the header.
This is in the corner. They were running
that
down
was
a
Miles.
ball.
That was Miles who basically established the forecheck. If you want to talk about hockey.
He just like threw an elbow into the guy's spine. It was great. Good for him.
It was extremely soft. I feel like I don't even think it was an elbow.
It wasn't.
Like
it was
I feel like
little contact.
Yeah, and that's very frustrating on that end, because I think that led to kind of at least the play that led to a goal.
Yeah.
So it was Aruju's. It was Aruju's really bad touch in the box that led to the first goal. But so I mean, even more ammo
to pass the goal line.
Yeah, and so it's brutal. It's one of those. The stats look decent on our end, but it's a lot of listless possession. It's where we look stagnant. We look like we just don't know where positionally players need to be, and it's it just looks really bereft of ideas, because I mean, Nashville looks so good with a little bit of just a little bit of possession that they had, and Walker Zimmerman as well, going on walkabouts, and looking dangerous when he does do that. I mean, Hani Mukhtar as well on the counter, just absolutely the most dangerous person on the pitch. And I would say, yeah, that's even with Almado on the pitch. It's just, Mukhtar, he looked every bit of an MVP, and it's just
for sure.
Yeah, it's just brutal.
I'm looking at the comments here. Bryant, no midfield. I say change formations. Everyone's figuring us out. We need more control in the midfield. Mike and I were talking about that watching the game. The transition from midfield to our forwards, there's none.
We just don't have connection of lines.
Yeah, because we've got Aruju.
They played easily past us. Well, it's not that. I mean, it's not just them, because Aruju isn't.
I'm on a witch hunt, AJ. I'm on a witch hunt, and right now it's Aruju because I looked at his salary and it's but for what we saw. Yeah. Whoa!
I mean, yes, for sure. For his production, for what he is on, he's not worth it. But I mean, I think his play today. I mean, it was okay in the build-up, in the sense that he kept it for us at times. There was a good switch that it was to Caleb Wiley on the left. I mean, he's really good on that switched ball. We'll give him that. And then it's just that. It's like he's not thinking fast enough in the play. Like, he's not thinking one or two, 2 steps ahead. He's basically behind. And that's
I can relate.
Kind of probably why.
I can relate. Feels bad,
I mean,
man.
I can relate too, sure, man. Yeah, but we're not being paid what he is.
I know, you're right.
Football.
Exactly. So, lower stakes.
Yeah. But so that's the thing too. It's like I think that is the case here, is that our midfield, they're not connecting the lines. I mean, Sosa is definitely the guy who's doing it, I'm not for sure. But when you have Rossetto, when you have Sadic, when you have Ibarra, I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, they're good players, but are they doing enough for us? I mean, Ibarra, he's breaking up the play well enough when he's in. He didn't play today, obviously, but so we won't really talk about him. But Rossetto today, okay, he had a decent shot on goal. It was our first shot on goal. Someone that, I think we need him to get in those positions. We need him to be a little bit more of a difference maker. And I think that's an obvious upgradable position.
Yeah.
We should definitely be looking at.
For sure. For more on that, I'm going to bounce you back over to Mike.
Appreciate you, Patrick.
Upgrading the positions.
You can either stay or you can go over there and I can call you back when we're going to do the wheel, or you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I'll probably bounce out, come back in a little bit.
Yeah, because it'll be hard to hear, I guess.
Yeah. But I can actually hear a little bit better and know what we're talking about out there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'll let you know when it's time for you to hopefully forfeit.
I don't know what that means. Okay.
All right.
See you in a bit.
All right, see you in a bit. All right, so
all right.
Let me do a little bit of comments real quick, and then we'll get Dennis in here next. And after that, we have Andre, and I think we'll see where we go from there. Christopher Gonzalez says he's tired. Something has to change. Bryant Lee says that, Patrick read that one already. George B says super frustrating game. Brian says our goalie was the man of the match. He was pretty darn good. Again, he's putting in good performances. Garrett Sims says Luis is like an inside forward, not a winger, and it's unbalancing the team.
To a degree. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, okay, yeah, he is an inside forward, but the problem is, shot-wise, he's not good enough. And then it's also that, I think right now, the way kind of the wingers are, they're more, kind of actual wingers. So Wiley is, playing out wide more instead of getting into scoring positions. And then as well, when Etienne came on, he's playing on the right. So it's not that they're going to cut in and shoot. So they're going to try to, play a ball from about wide into the middle of the box. And at that point, who's in the middle of the box to score?
Yeah, there was one time where Lennon made a really good run all the way down on the right side, and he was about to cut it, or he was about to cross it, but luckily it bounced off someone, and he won a corner instead. And I went, phew, I'm glad he won the corner instead of got the cross off, because there was no one ready for that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Joel, I think we were clamoring for him to start, and yeah, he didn't really show that much. He kind of vacated the middle a lot, and he was trying to get involved in the play, and I think it's just, he's not a player that knows how to play that position yet. And one of the things is, for a striker, they have to be in and around the box to be able to probably get in scoring positions. And he was finding himself out wide trying to get into the game. So, it's difficult. It's that's why the spine is so important, because you have a defensive midfielder as well. You want him to stay in the middle. You want him to shield that back line, and it's sometimes you have guys that go on walkabouts and it stretches the team, and it just it's really disjointed. And so it's one of those where Joel not quite coached up on that position yet.
Yeah. Stronk says Almada needs to go between the mids in a free role dictating the play, because no one does. Yeah. I mean, he kind of is in free role at this point. I feel like I saw him a couple of times pop up. Deep. Yeah, I saw him pop up like on different parts of the pitch, just that I didn't expect him to be at sometimes. So
right.
He definitely is in free roam.
Defensive mid, as the roving 8 as well. It was just he wasn't in goal scoring positions or at the 10 position in the hole. And I think he saw what was needed, is that our build up it was very stagnant. There just wasn't anybody willing to move, do enough. And I think that it's on Pineda as well. Like positionally, these players don't know where they need to be. And it's, I think most of the fans can see that, like, a lot of the players, they're not moving with the ball. They're passing it, or they're hiding. They there's a defender on them, and they're not trying to create some separation and get into some space,
right,
and be available.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are wanting to be anonymous. It seems like they don't want to step up. Like, whereas there are like players like Almada who are like, please give me the ball. I would love to have it. And Giacomakis is one of them too. They feed off of that. And Arujo was like that at one point, and he probably is still a little bit to a degree. I mean, he'll take the ball, but
he never hides. I'll give him that. He never hides. He will always be on the ball. He will make 8 mistakes a game, but he will be on the ball, and he will try.
Yep. I mean, he's like, if I do enough, something good will happen eventually. Let's see. So I got a bunch of comments here that I think we need to tackle.
Yes.
I feel we need to trade. There's a lot of controversial stuff. I feel we need to trade Luis and get a more attacking winger. Do you think he's here in the summer, AJ?
We're not trading him to anybody in MLS. No one's going to take him. Let's just be real. Mm-hmm. Not at his salary. Maybe to Brazil, to the Brasileiro.
If Palmeiras still, what was it? If Palmeiras still wants him, I mean.
I doubt it with his form this season. But I think we probably have to eat some salad.
Yeah.
Probably do something like that. And I mean, he's got some serious shaping up. Otherwise, his days are numbered, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because I think we're at 11 games in the season or something like that, and performance-wise and stat-wise.
What is it with Atlanta United? So, Arujo, Pity Martinez, Barco, all underachieving in their positions and their roles in a similar role and on our team. What does that say about us?
I think that says that our front office is extremely hit or miss, and
But all in the same position too.
yeah. I think there's a bit of that, right? That the talent identification has not been top tier, and yeah, there's you see the shiny skills and the shiny tools, but you don't see end product. And I think you've seen that in the past with Jurgen Damm. PT Martinez, I think to a degree, he was performing. He was just underperformed his, what he came in for and all that. And yes, he was also want to sky a chance as well. So, people will lambast him from that. If you look at his numbers, I mean, he's pretty productive. And Barco, obviously, up and down. His last year with us, he was definitely, a player that was carrying us at times. But I think, like Bill mentioned on previous live episodes, was that, he's one of those players that, he's like identifying who on the team he can trust and who he's going to pass to. And he was a player that, probably wasn't always going to find the open man who was going to pass to his favorites or someone that he thought could do something with the ball or keep it.
Yeah. It's a perplexing one, man, when it comes to that. Maybe that position in particular is just extremely difficult to scout for. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, 10 is, some people even say, an obsolete position in world football. So, I don't know.
It is. At least currently, there's more kind of like roving eights versus just a straight up out and out number 10.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, so we got Dennis in here now. Dennis, say hi.
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going good, man. Tell us what's going on. What are your thoughts?
Man, it was a rough game to watch. Man, it's just a lot of questions, a lot of doubts about this team. I don't know, man. I mean,
we're third.
It's just, I guess, I think the one thing that is concerning is they're trending down. I mean, they're not. You had the easy victory in Chicago, which you struggled, and then all of a sudden you lose 2 games in a row. I mean, it's not a good sign.
Although coming in, we were undefeated in 5 games, so I mean, it's just been a bad week. And we also, against Chicago, we pulled off a little bit of a miracle. So, yeah, the week on the whole, we haven't exactly been world beaters.
Yeah.
So, yes, I feel you.
Right, and the defense is still a concern, man. For me, it's something has to be done. They got to figure something out, because there's no way that the last goal, the man just walked in through 2 defenders and just put it in the back of the net. There's just no way.
Yeah, it's to dissect that goal real quick. We get beat on the counter way too easily.
Yeah.
On both of the counters, and I think you see Miles Robinson like pull up in the sense that he stopped running all the way, and it's one of those things where, I mean, I get it. He's the furthest away from the attacker, but also, Luis Abram as well. I mean, there's not really a strong urge to.
Miles wasn't going to get there, no matter what, and that's fine, because he was kind of out of position to get to him. Luis was supposed to get to him and just couldn't, because Luis is not that fast. I mean, he's not supposed to be. No one expected him to be. And Shuttleberg, whatever his name is,
Diop
quick.
Yeah, he's quick, but Diop also gets beat in your post.
Yeah.
And I think after the play, you see Miles Robinson throw up his hands, and, a little low, but throw up his hands in that. And in that sense, it's like he's expecting Abram and Diop to be able to handle it,
Yeah, Miles can't do
but
everything.
it is.
I mean, he's the one who breaks
Yeah.
down breaks because, I mean, Purata and Luis are not going to be able to stop balls over the top with fast-pacey strikers.
And so I think ultimately, yeah, it's on the counterattack, that's where we look highly susceptible, and especially a ball over the top or a ball out to the wings, because then it's off to the races, and I don't think we have the best one-on-one defenders besides Robinson.
Right, because that's how one of the goals came. Came from the side, put it into
the second goal,
got into the box, shot, and I mean, goalie couldn't really do much. He let the rebound go, and then it was in the back of the net. But to me, it looks like they're trying to play like some kind of offside trap or something like that, because there's just no way that your defenders are up that high and you're only leaving two guys back there.
I mean, they are high pressing to try and get the goal back. They're throwing everything to kitchen sink at that point. So it is something that happens a lot. It's like a team goes down and they're trying to chase the game, and then it really opens them up for counterattack. You see it all the time, and fortunately, it happened to us today.
Right. But what's interesting?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Dennis. You go ahead, Dennis. You're the guest.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
No, so to me, it's like this isn't the first time I'm seeing this. I've seen this through the last few games. It's like they're moving up, which is fine. I get that you want to pressure up top. You don't want to let them play on your side of the field. You don't want them to come out. That's fine. That's okay. But you also have to understand that that's a giant risk you're taking, especially when your lead is 1-0 or the game is tied or you're losing. You can't do that in those situations. You have to make sure that you're on top by a clear margin, and that you could recover in situations where they do send that long ball, that over the top ball or through the wing or what have you. You have to be able to recover. It just didn't look like that with Atlanta. It's like they're constantly chasing the ball, but they're never there to cut the play or be on top of it or be ahead of it. They're always behind. And so it gets complicated when you're defending that way. You can't leave your goalie one-on-one with the striker, because most of the times the striker's going to win. And another thing, your man of the match, I'm not saying that he didn't deserve it. To me, he made a few critical errors, but the man of the match shouldn't always be your goalie. That's not saying that he didn't deserve it or anything, but that looks bad when your goalie is the man of the match from all those saves, from keeping the score what it was.
Yeah.
So to me, it's concerning, and those are the things that, as a coach, as the person that's putting this team together, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm looking into. That's what I'm analyzing as the game progresses and goes on. Can you go and buy players and do things like, no, it's the middle of the season. There's really nothing much you can do, but make those small adjustments to where you're not being exposed behind. You don't have your goalie one-on-one with the striker. Just things like that. I think this team could turn it around. It's not too late. Like I said, Atlanta's not in a bad spot, but it is becoming like this giant boulder that they have to get over, when all they have to do is small adjustments. They have a great team. They have great players. I suggest that they make these adjustments. But, I mean, I'm not the coach. I'm not getting paid to do it. I'm just here commentating on it.
No, you're just getting paid a lot of money to show up on the stream. We know.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's great points, man. It's, time and time again, Diop had to intervene. There were a lot of balls where he had to make a decision. Is he going to come out and, pretty much kick it away, do something to intervene on a ball that was over the top and behind. And they knew.
Right, and in that play, I think it was like once or twice, it happened a few times where he had 4 or 5 defenders playing the ball, and then he comes out and tries to punch it out. I think one of them ends up being a goal. You have, as a goalie and playing in that position, you have to trust your guys. You have to be able to say, they got it. I'm going to let them, head it away or clear it or whatever they have to do. Making those mistakes is, it's just crucial. It ended up in being goals. It's because...
I think it did. And I'll fight against it a little bit. I don't think Diop was at fault for coming out. I think, and he had to make that decision because it was a ball that was in between the defender and him. And so it was one of those 50-50 balls that he had to make the decision. And because the goals weren't on that. The goals were from the ball over the top to Hani Mukhtar, and it was a shot deflection, and then
Bunbury.
A parry, and then Bunbury scores it. And then the other one was a counterattack with 2-on-1. So it's like, I think he was largely faultless. Besides the punch that probably he shouldn't have tried to go for in the box for the first goal.
In the corner, the guy was completely unmanned too. Who got that? There was no one on the far post to guard him.
Yeah, exactly. It was Andrew Gutman in the middle of the goal, and at that point, it was that's where I say yes. Okay, he maybe should have stayed in the middle of the goal instead of trying to punch it at the near post, because there were 2 or 3 guys, 3 Atlanta United players at that near post. So definitely at that point, yes, trust your defenders to do so, and you be the last line. Because he didn't command it, he got pretty much he was out of the play, and he was out on the sidelines while a Nashville player got a tap in. So it's just there are some things, but I think largely on a whole, he had a really good game, and yes, he was probably our man of the match, probably besides Almada. But your other point of the possession, or kind of alluding to the possession, is that we had so much possession, and it was one of these things where away at this stadium, we just played right into their hands. Like they absolutely were killers on the counterattack, and we instead are playing out from the back and not going direct when we need to. They high pressed us, they pinned us in. Like there was like a 10-minute period where we just couldn't get out.
Yeah.
And yet we were still trying to play out from the back. And then when we have the ball and they're in their half, we're playing listless possession without any movement. But our best moments are when we were playing one-touch ball and we looked dangerous. We were definitely creating some chances there, and then that's when we got undone by a counterattack. But yeah, I think that's when some players probably played a little scared and got a little gun shy. And it happens on the road. But that much possession on the road is crazy.
I know, yeah. We outpossessed them, which is the only good thing I can take away from this, really, except for Amada's first PK goal. So, would you think, Dennis and AJ, do you think that we looked less energetic than Nashville? Do you think Nashville was winning the more second balls, more duels, just sprinting onto the ball, just when we're, in a one-on-one race, they just got there more often than we did? Did it seem like they wanted it more?
To me, I didn't see really Atlanta turn it up into the 50th, 60th minute in the second half. I felt like they were lifeless for some periods of time. It's just really hard to watch that because, Nashville came out, they had their play, they had the idea of how they wanted to play. They had their style. They really controlled the game. If you looked at the game, they were just, I don't want to say dominant, but they were controlling the game, and they weren't letting Atlanta play. They weren't giving them any space, any breathing room. And so when you do things like play out from the back, how you were saying, coming out playing like that, you can't do that when you're being pressured and you're being suffocated by this other team. You have to do something else. Send the long ball. That's what Atlanta has been working on this entire season. That's what's been working for them. Try to get back to what's working for you. And I mean, they really couldn't do that this entire game into like the last part of the game, really, after like the 65th minute. I mean, it was just really hard for them to get into rhythm, just find that pace that they usually play. And it was just, I think, a little overwhelming for them. But I mean, it was just really hard to watch this game. It really was for this game.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point here. When basically, okay, the ball over the top to get out, to be more direct. Unfortunately, Chol doesn't have that hold-up play yet, and so we weren't able to get out that way. That wasn't an outlet for us, and I think that's the problem. Was that okay? Well, Barry with his hold-up play. I mean, it's like okay, like when he's in, it's like once or twice a game, maybe, but still doesn't really move us up the pitch. And yeah, at that point, it's a decision on how do we want to play. Do we want to play with possession, or do we want to play without the ball and hit them on the counter? And I think we have those players that can really be dangerous on the counter. I think Chol would probably be, a player maybe running in behind instead of trying to play a Yakomakis role. But essentially, Nashville probably, I think, more or less did a Red Bull New York to us. And, it's something where they didn't need possession. They just hit us on the counter, and it was too easy. It just like that's the book on us. And it's, however many coaches we have, that's the book on us. That's how you beat us. Really easily. That's how you do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Dennis. Appreciate it as always. And we'll talk to you later. We'll maybe see you next time if you're willing to come on again.
Yeah, of course. I'll try to watch the next game. I wasn't able to really watch this game. I was doing some driving, so I was trying to watch the game and drive. No, that's not. It's not.
Yeah, next time be home. Next time for that.
That's not very lawful.
All right.
But thank you guys for letting me on. I appreciate it. Hopefully next game they do better. And it's a good team, and I'm cheering for them. I hope they change up their tactics, and we get a dub next game.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Thanks for coming on.
All right, man. See y'all later.
See ya. All right. While we wait for our next visitor, let me see. I can look at some of the things in the chat. Strong has a lot to say. He's very opinionated today.
Good. Fiery.
Yeah, he says, when you get defeated by a USL team in order to rest players for a league game and then get defeated in the league game as well, then that's a lack of squad depth and proper management. Pineda has been in the same team since 2021. Now it's 2023. What has been the improvement? Why does he remain in the club? There's a 38.7% win rate. Does that win rate reflect the team's ambition?
Oh, that's a spicy meatball of a question there, and it's a very good question because yes, okay, Gonzalo Pineda has last year. Some may forgive him for not being able to do too much without the first team squad, but this season, he's had a good number of games where he's had a fully fit team, so. And then before that, him coming in initially, it wasn't great. And I think, you saw a little bit more kind of like identity perhaps, but it's right now, I don't know what our identity is. We're just a team that relies on talent versus.
We're a Almada ball team.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Andre now. Welcome, Andre. How you doing? Give us your thoughts, opinions, and your temper tantrums.
All right, can you hear me just to make sure?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, I have some notes actually.
Oh, wow.
But I'm coming out kicking, man. That was
Okay.
very disappointing game. Very frustrating, very disappointing. Overall, it was just very frustrating to watch that. As a newly Atlanta United fan, it's very disappointing watching that. So from the beginning of the game, you could tell Nashville came out, kicking, man. They were putting a lot of pressure in on the back end for Atlanta. They were winning balls. They were getting a lot of balls back that Atlanta kept making a lot of stupid mistakes with their passes, and they were just gifting the ball back to Nashville a lot. So from the beginning, you could just tell that it kind of set the tone for the rest of the match, that they wanted it more. They showed like they really wanted it more than Atlanta wanted it, and that was just really disappointing to watch that from the beginning of the game.
Would you say that could be possibly a home field advantage? They're jazzed up and fired up because it's home. Maybe Atlanta has that same kind of fire if they played at home.
That's hard to say. As someone who's only just watched this game and the last game, I from experience from watching other games with other teams and stuff like that, you do see a little bit of a home field advantage, but not that bad. Like not as bad as it was. This was just Atlanta was just cruising by. Basically, they were just kind of like letting it happen to them, for lack of a better term. While Nashville was basically, going for it, going hard for it, and Atlanta was just giving up a lot of messy passes. And Atlanta just seemed very nervous, even from the beginning of the game, when they just have this really bad habit that I noticed, that they just kick the ball out when they get into pressure, and they just gift the ball back just to start the play over again and just to start another attack. It's just like, okay, let's kick the ball out. Okay, here they come again. Let's kick the ball out. Oh, here they come again. And it's just like there's nothing happening. There's no counterattacks happening.
It's desperate defending, and we lack the personnel to really do over the top, breaks like AJ was saying earlier. So it's trouble. I mean, what do? You do the, the quick passes to try and get out. You want to get it to Almada so he can try and weasel his way out, because he's really good at that. But it's very hard when the other team knows that's the outlet, right? So like you can try on the fullback. Sometimes that works. You can get a fast runner like Lennon or Gutman to run out, but it's tough playing out from a high press like that. I mean, we've struggled against it. Every team that's tried to do it to us.
Yeah, you could definitely see it. Atlanta really struggled, and I really, my end argument or my end question, and I'm jumping ahead here, is how much of this is the coaching versus how much of it is the players, right? Because it just doesn't seem
it's
like
the perfect chemistry.
It's
unfortunately
it could be even that. It could be even worse. It could just be perfect chemistry, like you said. It's just a combination of both bad coaching and just the players not really feeling like they're putting it in, like giving their all into it, right? So that just shows a lot. Like they set the tone. They set the tempo from early on in the game, just how much pressure they were putting in. They completely set the tone and the tempo in for how much they wanted to do. And I noticed that Giacomakis wasn't playing, but Chol, is that his name? The guy that was playing in for him? I didn't even know he was playing. When he came out, I was just like, wait, who is that? And then I looked him up, and then I realized he was their striker. And I was like, what? It was just mind-blowing to me that he literally did nothing.
He's kind of invisible. Yeah. I mean, he's a young kid. He's not really, as AJ alluded to earlier, he's not really, he hasn't grown into the role fully yet. And he's also had a little bit
striker. Yeah. So he's a winger.
Well, I mean, he played. Jason Longshore will remind you he played striker all throughout college. But, I mean, that's obviously a completely different beast.
Exactly. The ability to do striker things. I mean, okay. He's definitely got the size to be a target forward, but beyond that, I think we saw that he's still just more of a winger in this match.
And continuing on the point, I mean, you didn't see much of a difference when another striker came on in Miguel Berry. So,
No, that's
Exactly.
correct.
It's
There wasn't even much of a difference there either when he came on either. That like I said, the tempo was set from the beginning of the game, you know, and it just stayed that way through the end of the game. Atlanta just were like lagging around, playing around, you know, they were passing the ball around whenever they could, and honestly, that penalty that they got, I like to give my unbiased opinion on that. It did not look like a penalty to me.
It was very uncharacteristic of the veteran defensive player Dax McCarthy to make that type of play too. So it was soft for sure, but I mean there was contact in the box and he fell. So I mean,
yeah, it was surprising to me that he gave a penalty. And even then, a goal is a goal, but I don't know how much they deserve to get that goal back. That was a really good penalty kick that Thiago Almada took, though. I appreciated that.
That was cheeky.
Yeah, it was very nice, soft, you know, to the point, and even the goalie was frustrated immediately when it happened. So much like the ball out the moon.
Frozen. It was a very good penalty, I think, in this sense. Then there's a helicopter above. Hope you guys can't hear that, but it's like though. I'll give Miguel Berry some credit for one of the plays. He was able to nutmeg, I think, Dax McCarty to allow Almada to lay it off for Sosa for a shot.
Yeah.
He's doing something in the box.
I think that was his best play of the game.
Right. But beyond that, you kind of expect more from the strike force, and I think that's. Yep. Yakumaka's not in. We look dire.
Speaking of dire, we should have kept Dom Dwyer for a backup striker if we could.
Yeah, right. Hearsay is that he was spotted in Sporting Kansas City training. So
back to his hometown, right? Or his home team.
Exactly. It's his home or original team. But it's one of those. As a dog is chasing after me, sort of. Anyway,
so
we're good.
Andre, who would you say was the most threatening player on our team? Would you say perhaps it was Gutman?
Easily Almada.
Okay.
He, if anything, he would be like the most valuable player on the team in the game, and it scares me to think that he may not be there that long. So if they're relying so much, it's like I'm Brazilian, so when we watch Brazil play, we see Neymar take up a lot of the helm, and when Neymar goes out and gets hurt or something happens to him and he's not playing, all of a sudden it's like trying to figure out, okay, who's going to take over for him? What's going to happen now? And then there's some disconfiguration in the team and the alignment and they just have trouble without him. And now I can only imagine how bad it's going to be if Almada leaves Atlanta United, and how terrible it's going to be to try and replace him and put someone else in that spot if there's even going to be any chemistry and stuff like that as well. So it's kind of scary thinking about the future with that stuff. So he's definitely.
Don't let's think about it.
Yeah, I guess don't think about it.
Yeah. Let's not think about it until we have to think about it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Kind of close. But yep.
Yeah. So that's basically what I was seeing. Is just there was really no pressure from Atlanta the entire game. Even when they went down 1-0, 2-0, they just weren't. They didn't wake up. It just I don't understand what happened. Usually when you see a team go down 1 goal, they just immediately wake up, start counterattacking, start pressing, and start going forward. And Atlanta just didn't do that. And to me, it doesn't seem like the coach cared or did anything about it. It just I don't know how long the coach has been there for, like a newly Atlanta United fan, but to me, the coaching just doesn't seem very good at all. So I don't know if you guys probably have more experience with that than I would.
He's been here since 2021, and most of the time he hasn't had a full roster to even really play with. It's really this year is kind of his like the way we will kind of judge him. It's because he's had a full roster, he had a full preseason, and hopefully we aren't going to get plagued by injuries again like last year. So this is going to really be his referendum. So we'll see.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So one thing that I heard the commentators say towards the end of the game, which I felt the entire game was that Atlanta felt very reactive, not proactive.
Yep.
And they were very right when they said that. And it's just, and even then, they almost didn't even feel like very reactive. Like I said, when they went down 1-0, 2-0, it didn't seem like they started pressing or going hard. So it was just, even that term just doesn't even sound right. They weren't even that much of reactive. They were just like kind of like letting it happen to them.
They were passive.
Yeah.
They were very, yeah, there you go. They're very passive. Yeah, exactly. Instead of being reactive, they were just passive. They let it happen to them. And that third goal that came in, I have to say that was a really nice play. It was very disappointing to watch number 12 and number 4. I don't know what their names are, but when they were chasing after
Robinson, Abram,
yeah, when they were chasing after the guy that had, once they did the counter, they like gave up. At one point they were like, okay, let's just let the goalie take care of it and see what happens. And they looked like they were frustrated, but it literally looks like they gave up when they were running after the counterattack. Like it just, there's nothing else to say about it, but that was just really upsetting to just watch them just completely give up. And it was like, oh, he got away. All right, good luck. Good luck to our goalie. See what happens.
And Abram pulled up because there was no way he was going to catch him. And Miles wasn't going to catch him. I mean, Miles could catch him if it was just in a bald sprint, even, like they started from an even distance. He could catch him. But he had to come from an angle from further away. It was really on Luis, but there was no way he was going to catch him. He's not exactly the type of defender who's going to out-sprint you. So there wasn't really... That was just kind of like... I mean, hey, let's call it for what it is as well. Nashville had a very good game. They played very well. Everything was clicking. Let's also point out, they finished all 5 of their subs. One was kind of forced at the 81st minute. They didn't drop a beat the entire time. It was seamless. They were very good. They had incredibly good depth, too. They were very reliant on their subs. And their team continued to flow seamlessly. So, we see it
when us. They were still attacking in the last minutes.
Exactly. So they were looking for more. So, like, when we take out players, you see a drop-off. When other teams take out players, they just figure it out. They just know what to do. So, that's got to be something on us as well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, how did you guys feel about those substitutions that came in as well? Because I heard that they were subbing out. It sounded like they subbed out a defender for no reason when... Atlanta should be attacking and not defending and worrying about defending.
Yeah, they put in Luis for, like, Rosetto and... I forget, another, like, attacking type way.
Yeah, Sadic came in for Hosetsu. Abram, I think, came in for Wiley.
Yeah, which was a little perplexing to some people.
We went to 5 at the back. Yeah, I think it was more that, we pushed, our wingbacks in midfield and a little bit more forward. And then the 3 at the back would handle anything else that was happening. So then we would essentially have, 7 attackers. Which, okay, great. But the 7 attackers on the pitch didn't look all that dangerous.
So,
they weren't really moving.
I love that you just said that. Because Sam Jones posted on Twitter a literal picture of it, of like the Atlanta United heat map for, passing and everything like that. It was like the halfway line was here. He called it the Atlanta United's the 1-2-8 formation, where we had a goalie, 2 defensive players, and their entire team was sitting on the midline, and they just wouldn't ever go forward at all because it was hard to.
Yeah, and it looked like we were just allergic to the box. So yeah, it's that old Darlington Nagby heat map that I don't know if anybody on here knows, but basically. It's like we're world beaters in the midfield. Pretty good in defense, just completely just barren, just red in the box. It's just like it's just OF when you get close to the box. So it looked like we just didn't look like we were competent inside the box.
Yeah, well, that's to be kind of expected with Arujo just not being able to put anything together in the box. Almada likes to just kind of dance at the top of the box, line up a shot, or he lays it off. That's kind of his 2 things. And our striker just is not there. So there's that as well. And then, you get the two wings that will just kind of go down, and then they'll try and either like find the layoff from Arujo or Almada. Again, it's just, like you said, allergic to the box, though. Like, there isn't that 1-2 combination to run through.
Right, and it's a little too predictable. Like, again, I like Caleb Wiley as an outlet and on the wing at times, but it's obvious what he has to do. Like, like on the counter, yeah, that makes sense. But in build-up play or anything in terms of dynamic, he's not there yet. He can't cut in. He's not taking a shot, from outside the box. He's not like he's getting to the wing, and he's getting to the byline, and he's putting a ball in. Like it's a little too obvious. And Derek Etienne as well. I mean, when he came on, kind of similar. But he was still he brought some energy. He was trying to make some things happen. But yeah, ultimately, like our play is just too predictable and too stagnant and
slow and predictable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I noticed also too. A lot of players were receiving balls, and this is something Lane United has been doing for a long time now. They receive balls going forward, even if at pace, with their backs to goal. And that slows up play all the time. They're never like looking forward and trying to run onto a through ball or something, or a leading pass or something like that. They receive the ball, they take a couple seconds to process what just happened, and then they move on. And by that time, the entirety of the other team is already back in their shape, their defensive shape.
Yep.
Yeah. So one last thing I almost forgot to point out was that first goal. I know you guys are Atlanta's using a reserve goalie now, right?
Pretty much our third string.
First string.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah, so I the last thing I saw in that first goal is that he made a really terrible mistake in coming out of the box trying to do whatever it was that he did, because he didn't do anything. He didn't even touch the ball or even go for it. It looks like he just jumped in the air and just, I don't know what happened. So that was another mistake that I saw too. That was kind of disappointing to see. But either way, overall, like I said, it's just the tone was set from the beginning of the game. The instant Nashville came out kicking, poking holes in the defense, putting a lot of pressure, cutting off their passes and stuff like that. You could just it just felt like Atlanta didn't try, and my note and question is just like AJ said, it's just how much of a combination it is between the players just not caring enough or not giving it their all, and how much the coach is not doing something about this as well.
I think it comes also to what I was saying last time. I think not the Open Cup, but the one before that. We definitely seem to be lacking leadership on the field. I mean, because obviously Giakoumakis wasn't there. I do think he does provide some leadership. Miles has leadership capabilities, but I mean, I was talking to Patrick during the game. We're missing a Jeff Lorenowitz type of, or an Ozzy Alonso on the field that can be. And I think what was it? I wasn't Taylor Twellman.
A general.
Yeah, a general. But there was someone that was talking to Jason Longshore or something, saying that when Jeff Lorenowitz saw another team adjust to Atlanta's play style and then try to do something to counter it, Jeff would notice, and Jeff would then alter it and muster his troops to then adjust to their adjustment. Whereas I feel like we never do that anymore. We don't have the general, as you put it, to do that type of thing.
Mid-game adjustments, and Parkey as well. Someone that can reshape the defense and also attack as well. Just letting guys know where they need to be. Because again, like we mentioned earlier, positionally, we don't look like we know where to be. And they're pointing out on the broadcast as well, there aren't triangles to play.
Yeah.
There's just no movement. They're passing and then they're watching.
Yep.
And it's, with that, it's a pretty good recipe for disaster when the other team looks as dangerous as they are. And I think as well, we need to give credit to Nashville for playing a fantastic game.
Yeah.
that nullified our strengths and made us look passive as well. And also, this is our third game in a week. So we do need to account for that. That's probably why we look this listless, and especially when our
But we heavily
depth
rotated last
is
game.
shallow. Exactly. But it's just like our rotation is obviously not good enough. The depth is not good enough, and yeah, I mean, everybody looks a step too slow, not energetic, and it's just, at this point, we're not equipped to play 3 games in a week.
Yeah.
And, like, our strength right now, so far, mostly the only strength, is playing at home 1 game a week.
They missed that train horn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, Andre, it was great talking to you. Thanks for coming on. We'll have you on next time if you will be available for that. If you're interested, if you want to come back. Hopefully, we didn't scare you away.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Take care, guys.
Thanks, man.
man.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, I'm going to have Patrick come back in, but before I do that, I'm going to read a couple of the comments. So, we got Jack Dickens saying, I think this team also lacks game management. It's very hard to see this team get many wins away from home. Also, get Tata back. Yeah, he is interested in MLS again. It will be scary to go up against him.
Yeah, we probably need to go get him if he's got a soft spot for MLS. So, yeah, I mean, if you're asking me if it's Gonzalo Pineda and Boca or Tata Martino, yeah, I'm gonna take Tata Martino.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, because at the very least, we know he attracts players who want to play there, which is going to be.
And he's a winner.
Yeah. So Nyman says, I think Giacomakis is an important part of Atlanta United now. 100%. Connor says, I think Barry played better against a good MLS team than he did against a not great USL team. Yeah, that's but that's indicative of some other issues that were going on with the Memphis game. That it looked like, and some of the commentators were saying, Atlanta kind of thought, oh, this is going to be an easy game. We looked past them. A lot of the players got in their own heads, it seemed, after that first goal went in. Stronk then says, Giacomakis is important, but when you plan for a team, you have to have redundancies because of injuries. It's part of the program. Yep, and unfortunately, this is a salary cap league. We can only do so much, and this is something I've said before, and I'll say it again, other MLS teams seem to be able to figure it out, and we're struggling still. Luckily, we have Lagerwey now, and again, hopefully we'll be able to figure it out in the coming weeks or months. Well, when the summer happens, it'll be an interesting summer. I think, like, I've heard Taylor Twellman say that 5 or 6 times today. It's going to be an interesting summer for Atlanta. Garrett says Parada went at striker. I think we were still playing 4 in the back. Went for a striker. I'm not quite sure what you're saying there, Garrett. Strong says extremely slow game development. Yep. Connor says GG is a leader by example where he sets the level. Yeah, like I said, you can be. I think AJ used this term, an energy leader. You perform in such a way, and you get everyone hyped around you, even if perhaps you're not even speaking the same language. So. All right, so I'm getting Patrick to come in here. That is it for the comments. You have any more comments? You want to say anything to us? Let us know now. In a few minutes, we'll be doing the wheel. This week, I'm doing something that I was supposed to have a Rivals jersey on this week. Unfortunately, I don't own a Rivals jersey. There are possibly 2 coming in the mail, so I will eventually have one on for one of these episodes. I decided to wear a Galatasaray jersey instead. So that's not exactly a rival of ours, but I just thought it was a strange enough and more bizarre enough jersey that it'll work out for this week. But I owe you that, and I will do that. This week, we're going to have Patrick do a guest spin as well and see if he can hopefully take the forfeit before me doing it. What is it, a 5th time or some nonsense?
5th? Yeah, I know, it might be.
All right, let's have you sneak in a little closer here, so you can get your facial reaction when it goes all wrong.
All right. Great.
All right. So, is there anything else you wanted to
The wheel
close out
of
before we do the wheel?
No, let's do it.
All
let's
right.
do the wheel of forfeit.
So first, we'll select who will be the unfortunate one.
Come on, this can't be me. It's my first time. It can't happen.
Oh, but can it?
I'm here to confirm that it seems mostly fair. I didn't see this get set up though, so.
Yeah.
I know, right? The percentages. No, the percentages. I mean, if he was doing that, he would have been doing it not for himself. He's done it 5 times.
Yeah, it's I've kind of shot myself in the foot a bunch of times already, so that's been fun. Nah, come on, you. There it is.
So we spinning? Okay,
Almost.
there we go.
Just getting the wheel up on the screen. There we are. All right, so we have Patrick, Mike, and AJ this week. Please not me. Oh, it's Patrick. Oh, it's Patrick.
We need more people
I
on
swear
this.
I didn't rig this at all.
Alright, whatever.
All right.
I'm here.
Dang.
He asked me to do this like 3 hours ago, by the way.
You did say yes.
I did say yes.
Yes.
All right, so to remind you, we have the spicy challenge. So that's like eating something super hot, like ghost pepper stuff.
Sure,
which
yeah.
is what I did that one episode, which is
Yeah.
fun. We have you have to film yourself doing karaoke of a song that you like.
Okay.
This one is film yourself doing a soccer skills challenge. We have a list of challenges you can pick from.
Sure.
One is doing a liquor shot, and we're not sure exactly how we're gonna do that one yet. It'll probably be based on like doing like a shot of liquor from like the city of the opposing team that we're playing next.
Okay.
And red ass, I explained to you what that
butts
was.
up.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Pressure's on.
Pressure is on. Oh,
What
it's
do you
spicy
want?
challenge.
It's
So,
spicy challenge.
AJ, when you see this video, it's on the cusp
It's
of red ass game. I was excited.
millimetric.
Yeah, I was excited, but we got spicy challenge. So
And this is a red ass where it's not like juggling. You just shoot at some dude bent over, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad
Right.
that didn't happen
But,
to me on my. I'll take the spicy
Right.
challenge.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, you'll have a red ass in a different way.
Yeah. Well, thanks for thinking about me, AJ.
All right.
Anytime, Patrick. Anytime.
All right, so that was the wheel. Tune in next time for the next wheel and see what we got going on with that. I know Mark still owes us something, and we will get that to you guys eventually. But he's been busy with some stuff. So, if there's anything else, AJ, you wanted us to go over before we hit the old dusty trail?
Yeah, well, Patrick, you gotta let us know what you plan on eating that's spicy.
Well, look, I'll kind of just play it house
over
rules, whatever you guys have
He
been
says
doing.
house rules, so I'll give him what I had.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
all
I've
right, fair
got
enough.
spicy stuff at my house, but the spicy stuff I have is like just like sriracha and like
Sriracha. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it
All right,
might
yep.
not be a bad idea for like people
Sure, though.
joining the stream in future to like stock up on this stuff, and maybe we can get more names on. That could be fun. I don't know. Just saying. I mean, this is my first time, and I get to pick for a spicy.
Look, you have no sympathy from me. Just considering
That's-
how many times I've had to do these.
That's fair. I don't.
Yeah, you should be looking at AJ and Mark though. Those are
They're
That's
just
probably true.
coasting.
those criminals over there and just
I
not
know.
getting away
I've only
with
done
it.
this once.
Getting away with
That's,
murder.
Well, yeah, we'll
It
make
is,
sure
it is,
I
man.
do whatever spicy Mike's done. You know, I heard last it was like a licorice something or other. I don't love
Yeah, I
licorice.
do licorice.
but,
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, it was tough. All right, let me just get out a couple more of these comments and then we'll call it a day. Jack says, "What's the deal with Tyler Wolf? I think he deserves more chances to play." I mean, did you see him in the Memphis game?
His goal was well taken, but yeah, he was a little too aggressive, possibly. But yeah, I think he's that kind of like, it's not really sure what his best position is. He's like maybe a second striker type of guy because he doesn't create enough on the wing, nor does he create enough as a number 10 either. It's not really sure,
He's just not there. He needs more development.
best position.
He just needs more development to really shine in one of those things. But he's got to pick one, I guess. So, Connor says, how many players do you think we need in the summer? 1, 2 maybe, and depending on whether or not Almada goes 3.
Right. Yeah, so midfield, a backup striker, and yes, if we need to replace Almada.
And then maybe a fifth goalie at this point.
Honestly, man. Siege.
And
Every time.
Connor, it was a different Connor this time. Connor Thompson instead of Connor Watson. Who is on the hot seat to being cut out from the team, or my favorite DFA? On the hot seat, I mean, it's got to be like the ones we talked about. It's got to be Aruju that they're looking at.
Ugh.
They got to be looking at. I mean, the hot seat is definitely Aruju, the one if you're talking about like a singular seat. But at this point, I think it's like it could be a pew of sorts.
Yeah.
That a couple people are singing the choir for.
A coach.
So, maybe. I mean, the coach. I think we can give a little bit longer of a leash.
Oh, I was talking about like a trained coach.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Like I could see for sure Aruju for the money. That's the most expensive seat. I can't. I mean, we're not going to be able to keep Almada, and I don't know really enough of the ins and outs of the rest of the contracts on the team to justify the coach comment. But I was not necessarily talking about our coach. Although that Memphis game was. Any hoodles.
Yeah. How about you, AJ?
All right. Yeah.
Who's in the hot seat?
I think. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I think it's tough to see Pineda being let go midseason unless we just go on a really big slide.
Yeah.
It's a very forgiving lead, and we're in third right now, and we just dropped points for the first time in 5 matches. Like, it's unlikely right now or in the summer unless, like I said, it's just awful. And it could be. I mean, are we fool's gold? We could be.
Taylor Twellman thinks
Especially
so. He thinks our position in the standings is extremely flattering right now.
Yeah. And so, you have that. You have, some of the other aspects as well. Of, yes, Aruju, can you move him in the summer? I don't really think anybody's going to take him in the summer. I think he's probably going to be here, and then we probably eat a contract or something. And then I could see maybe if Miguel Berry doesn't do the job, that we let him go. We bring in another guy. And in terms of midfield, I mean, it's just like, it could be one of the midfielders that we have currently that makes way for a better one. So
I think we could. I don't think Osetu's in the hot seat, but I could see us getting a better version of him if it's out there. I would splash for a better version of Osetu if we could.
Right, exactly. And so at that point, it would be probably someone that, Osetu, I think he makes too much in order for us to just outright, lose his contract or trade him or transfer him. It probably is somebody like Sadich that isn't making that much that we move on. And in that sense, if we could get somebody that's much better than anybody else at the A position that we have, yes, I think we should do it.
Yeah.
So.
And Sosa's keeps having howlers of games, having real ugly games. Mm-hmm. This game in particular I have like 4 or 5 notes of him making some pretty poor. He literally passed it to Bunbury at one point. Remember that? He just a no look back pass. Well, it was like horizontal, really, but just a no look pass all the way over. I'm like, what? We're not playing St. Louis yet. Relax.
Well, and that's the thing too, and that's a good point too. But Sosa, he's at least looked very promising. He's very, I think yesteryear he played really well for us.
Yeah.
You have that. You have Franco Ibarra as well. I think both of those guys. I think it'd be hard pressed for us to move on from them. I just don't see that happening. But and then at the other positions, it's like, you're not really going to, probably replace any of those guys So really, at this point, yeah, it's probably those players that we just mentioned or positions.
Right.
But yeah, all right. Well, let's wrap it up. Yeah, everyone that contributed and commented in the chat, we thank you so much. For Patrick, for Michael, I'm AJ. We thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. Hopefully we have a better result in performance in the next match. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.
All right. See you, everybody.